So this is just a following video of the Arrowz MOGRT. So I'm gonna just recreate this MOGRT. So if you follow along, you could learn a thing or two about making MOGRTs and expressions in After Effects. So what I'll first do is to create a new composition. By the way, this is pretty much uncut version. So yeah, so I'll bump into problems, issues, but yeah, that's part of the learning, I guess. So I'm gonna create HD composition or sequence here, and first of all, I'm gonna create the path. So how I usually create path is to create two null objects. I'm gonna call this one point 1, then press Command B to duplicate that. I'm gonna just press P to open up these two positions. I just want them to be apart evenly from the center. So on this one, I'm gonna -60 minus 480, and on point 2, I'm gonna plus 480. Now you've got two paths. Next is to create a shape at the path. Bring it to the top, and I'm gonna create a path, and inside the path I'm gonna hold down Option and load up the expressions box, text box, and I'm gonna just assign point 1 to the position of point 1 and point 2. Same, assign the position of point 2. Now, if I want to create the path, I will go here, path property, create path, and inside points, I just select this fork and just put in point 1, comma, point 2, and I don't want them to be closed because I just want it to go one way. Yeah, that should be it. You can't see. Ooh, that has gone there. That is because the position of that is not at the 0 point. So I just need to change the position of the shape layer to 0 point. But if I click somewhere else, you can't see the path, but it's definitely there. That is because inside contents, you only have the path. You don't have any stroke or fill. So I'm going to give it a stroke, and you could change this size of the stroke there, or you could do it here. I'm going to just do it here. Now it's visible. Now if I move point 2, the path would just follow. Okay, seems good. Save it. And next thing we do, we're going to create a tangent. I'm going to create another null object, and I'm going to call it tangent. And let me just open up this path expression. I'm going to just put in the tangents here. There's in tangents and out tangents, but usually one should work, but inside both these two, I need to put in an array. So I'm gonna just set 0, 0, and tangent, and it will be. I just need to press P to open the position, and now I'm gonna pick whip that to that. Okay, and inside I'm gonna just a lot of try and error here just to see what's the best. So my guess is 0, tangent. Let's see what we get. Okay, cool. So we're getting somewhere. So that seems to be okay. Okay. Let's see. So 0, Okay, what if I have 0, 0, and we have tangent? It's a lot of trial and error here. So yeah, that seems to come here. So if I go, okay, if I have this tangent the same position as point 1, that might be the solution for it. Okay, let me just change this to 540 first, and then this would be 480. Okay, that seems, that does seem. Just bring in the rulers, show rulers. This would be 960. Right, still off the center a little bit. So I would guess the tangent, if the tangent sets around here, then I could use this to control the curve. Like, okay, so if it's not 480, then it might be, right, it's this is gonna be guesswork here. So 540. Yeah, that seems work. Yeah, and if it goes to 0, that should give us a straight line. Yeah, right, okay, cool. So we could use that tangent to control the curve, and the value of that should be 540 on the x-axis, and on the y-axis it's just 0. But we really cannot have the controller over there because it looks weird. Ideally we would like the controller to be somewhere here on the same line of the shape layer. So what we could do here is to create another null object. We just call it tangent controller. Alright, we're going to use this tangent controller to control the curve. Right, I'm going to just press P to load up that, and if we just need to remember this is when this is here at 540 and 0, it kind of controls the curve, the path. We just need to pick with that because we want to control the path from this tangent controller. Now as soon as you pick with that, you see it's gone to the wrong side. But what we could do, we could just finish this expression here. Let me just it's again, it's a 2-dimensional array. So what we need to do is just to work out the math to make these numbers the same as before we pick with that. So remember it's 0 on the y-axis, so you just need to minus 540 here, and on the x-axis it was 540, so you just need to at 540, 960, what's the difference? 420. So we need to minus 420 here. Now if you click somewhere else, you see that has gone back. That we worked out the difference between this no tangent controller and the actual tangent. We don't really need to see this anymore. Now if we can even log this, if we bring this up and down, we could see we can now control this path. So that's perfect. But what I would also like to do is to create a shape of this as well. And inside a shape, I'm going to just give it a ellipse and give it a bit of color so that it's more visible. I'm going to just make sure this controller is following this control shape. Oh, sorry. I need to parent the position. Now, I don't even need to see that node now. All I need to do is to control this. Actually, you're on the selection. Now, you could see this is how you control this path. Okay, that's all good. And one more thing you will notice is that when you go to point 2 and then just move it, you see this path is now following this point 2. So we're going to create another controller for that. Same as before. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to name this one. I'm going to call it tangent controller 1. Or actually, we don't need tangent. We just need call it controller 1. And I'm going to just have controller 2. I'm going to just duplicate this and then press E. Oh, doesn't work. Oh, because it hasn't got an expression in it. I'm going to move it to this end, the same position as controller 2, and now I just need to pick with the position of point 2 to controller 2 so that I could use this. It doesn't change anything because they're of the same position, but now I could control this curve with this controller 2. Maybe I give it another color. So it's just to distinguish between 2. Yep. And you could disable them. Okay, next let's move on to the shape layer. And let's try to animate the path. So inside the path, what we could do, we could give it a trim paths. What trim paths does is to, so if the end is 0, it will be the same position as the starting point. As you increase this, it will fill up the 2 points. And what we could do, well, I'm gonna create some sort of keyframe control with this. So let's first create a controller. I'm gonna use another node object as a controller, and this controller will host all our slider controls and all other controls. Controller, and I could lock it here at the top so that you don't really move away. So what I do here, I'm gonna bring in a couple of sliders. I'm gonna call it time in, and I want the animation to start at 1, and then another one is time in duration. I want the animation to start to run for 1 second before it before it stops. So I'm gonna just test out this. So if I press Option and hold down, what I want to do is to set up the variables. Time in equals, that is just assigning the variables to my sliders 1, And then here I'm gonna just use linear. Wait, where's it gone? Linear expression. So basically it works the first in its field, the first attribute is what you want to control. So I want to control the time. I want this from the time I want it to be in. So at the moment, time in is 1. That means 1 second, and I want it to stop at the 2 second. That's time in plus time in duration. And how do I want the value to change? I want it to change from 0 to 100. And now you should see this animation starting from 1 second, and that runs for a second, and at 2 second point it should finish the animation. However, if I increase the time in duration, say I want it to run for 4 seconds, it will then start from 1 second, run for 4 seconds, and then finish the animation. So that's basically what linear does. It allows you to control the time it starts and how long the animation runs for. I think running for 2 seconds may be good. And maybe starting from 1 second. Yeah, okay, that's cool. Instead of using linear, we could also use ease. It gives you sort of subtle ease in and out animation, but it's really subtle. But yeah, I prefer using ease than linear. If you want all the expressions, usually it's in here. I think this one should be to do with time. Where's time? Nope. Interpolation. Yes, there you go. So it explains linear t time, minimum time, maximum time, value 1 and 2. You could have is in, is out as well, but I'll just pick is because it's easier. So that's that. And next we want to go away. Next, what we want to do is to create a triangle that will follow this line, basically follow this percentage. And yeah, and that would be our arrow. So next we're going to create the triangle. Let me just bring this up a little bit more. Okay, let me just close this. Scroll. Okay, I should create a group, and I'll just put all the paths inside this group. Yeah, and I'm gonna create a triangle. Polystar. Outside. Yeah. Group 2. Polystar is gonna be in group 2. I could change the name to arrow. It's over here. Fill it with white. Yeah, it's red at the moment. Right. And it should have 3 points. Yep. That is it. So, and also this inner radius should be always half of the outer radius. So I'm gonna just pick with those and then divide it by 2. And that should keep it always a triangle. Now, the tricky part is I have to work out I have to work out the position of this arrow, and it has to be glued to this point as this trim path moves. So actually, before I show you how to do it, let's just create a different composition. The Adobe guys has actually created an arrow. Is it right on arrow? Inside one of the presets. So if I double click this, yeah, you can see this, and they managed to stick that triangle to the end of that trim path. So if we just reveal that by pressing E twice, we could see all the expressions. And I'm guessing this position, yeah, that position is the triangle's position. So basically what it's trying to do is that polystar is just picking path. So path is this one, path 1, and then point on path, and we're gonna pick the content path. So basically what I'm trying to do is try to copy this, but then customize this to my my composition. So we could copy that and make sure that I'm on the arrows. Yeah, I'm on the arrows, and then press Control, hold on Control. I'm gonna just copy this here, but I'm gonna put 2 / just to comment it out. So we won't run this expression, but we could use it as a reference. So what do we need to do? Well, it's at 0, 0 point. What do we need to do? We need to get the path first. So path, well, we'll get path would be get path would be content dot path 1. Wait, okay. So it should be in group 1. So it should be content at group 1. So let's try content group 1 and dot content we're trying to get group 1. Is it group 1? Path 1, yes. Path 1. We're just referencing those 2 elements, and then we need to get its path. And the second half of that is just to get a point on path. We're gonna call it point on path equals content group 1 content trim path trim path 1 dot end. And next we're going to string them together. We're going to get path dot point on path wait, no, this is the trim end, because we need to get this point on path. Point on path, trim, and it's not a function, and we're gonna just divide it by 100. Right, let's see what has gone wrong here. Group 1. It's missing, does not exist. Trim paths 1. Paths 1. Yes, I'm missing the S. Now, we see it's following that path. Okay, that's a good sign. The other thing we need to do is to make sure the rotation, you see, the rotation is always correct. So, sure there's a rotation value here. Let's just get a scale, because that's really easy. So with the scale, what we want is we could just straight pick whip the end. So when it's 0, it's not sure it's 0 as well. When it's 100, it's showing the full size of it. But if you want to make that bigger, remember we have the outer radius. We could make it bigger or smaller. But let's just keep that 100. So the scale, we could just pick whip the scale to the end of the trim paths. Next, we need to do the rotation. Rotation, again, I'm gonna just copy that here. Right, okay, I think, yeah, wow, that is so handy. Rotation. Okay, let's press that, copy everything. Okay, first bring it up a little bit. Oh. Okay, and I'm gonna just comment out this again. I will use /* and */ to comment out this section of the codes. But what we could do, we could copy this. Okay, trace, path trace, we're group 1, path 1, progress. I think we are we're gonna change this to group 1 as well. Trim paths, that's correct. Yeah, and then the rest of it we could just copy and paste. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Not the direction I want, but you know what? We could in the controller, we could add a degree controller, angle control, and in here, rotation, we just assign the variable to this, and on the final, when it's calling the function, we just plus angle. And now, if we turn this to the direction we want, I think it's 90 degrees. Is it that's the right? Oh. Huh. Okay. Well, let's test it. We want it to be 1 second. Okay, it's gone to the wrong direction when it comes to the end. Okay, fly. We just turn on these two controls. Okay. It seems to sort of turn the wrong direction when it comes to the last frame. Okay, let me just undo those. So yeah, still. Oops. Now, if I turn it any other directions, the arrow seems to be correct, but as soon as I come back to horizontal line, I guess I'll have to cut some corners here. I guess if okay, let's see where we should do this. Okay. Fine. Okay, so when that is 100, it flips 9.5. Okay, maybe I could change that to 9.5. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's the corner we'll have to take. So basically it's saying that it never hits 100, but I think that doesn't really matter because it's just like 0.5 of a pixel or percent. Let's see if with the other controls we can still get it working. Yeah, seems to be right direction. And if we turn it, yep, seems to be the correct direction. Okay, great. We have it working now. Yeah, that's really good. So what next we'll do is we're gonna have a look at the paper. I think what we'll do, we'll increase the stroke first, stroke width, and right, we could have it narrower on this side, or we could have it nope. A lot of trial and error. What? Wait. Hit that. Right? Yeah. That's how you create like a round shape. Okay. So yeah, if I have it narrow on this side, I'll have to tweak this and then possibly bring this down. Okay, never mind. We will, let's just bring them back to 0. We will have them set up in this control, and then finally we'll bring them into the essential graphics panel, which is essential graphics. In the essential graphics panel, I'm gonna bring in a couple of sliders, well, controls. I'm gonna point, oops. So yeah, one thing to remember, if you want to bring in a control, you need to be selecting that layer. So point control, that'll be my control. Just call it control 1. duplicate that by pressing Command D, Control 2, and yeah, I could just toggle on these two, Control 1, just press P to load up the position values. So that's 960 by 540, and I'm going to just pick with that, and same with Control 2, it's 1440, it's 1440, and that's 540, and I'm going to pick with that position to that. So now if I right click this point and then add property to Essential Graphics, I've added that to here, the Essential Graphics panel. Same with that one. Now I could directly control these two in this Essential Graphics panel. See? Okay, just go back. Okay, that's two. What else do we want to control? We want to be able to toggle on and off those markers. So I'm gonna bring in, make sure to select the controller. I'm gonna bring in expression controls, checkbox control. I'm gonna call it show control 1. Duplicate that. Show control 2. Now, as they are showing, I'm gonna tick those two and press controller 1 and controller 2 and press T to load up the opacity. And with this opacity, I'm going to just pick with this checkbox, and in the expression it's gone almost 0, but it's actually 1, so I'm gonna type in times 100. That will do. So when you uncheck it, it's 0. When you check it, it's 100. Same with this one. I'm gonna pick up this two checkbox and then just times 100. Now, same as before, right click this, add property to Essential Graphics, and then add properties to Essential Graphics. You could arrange these two. You could arrange their orders as well. Now, if I turn off this, and they're gone. Cool. Yeah, might as well just turn them off. I could bring the time in and time in duration property. Yeah, so if I wanted to start at 2 seconds and lasting for 3 seconds, and you will see it only starts from 2 seconds, and then the animation lasts for 3 seconds. Okay, that's good. What else? We want to change the color. Yeah, in here you have, okay, again you have to check, you have to select controller and then add color control, and you could just pick up this color to this color. It should turn to red. And also on the path, you're gonna just pick up this color to this color, and now add properties Essential Graphics, and now you could change the color to whatever you like, just over here. And also I think what we need to do is to set up the path, the stroke property. Stroke property, we could search stroke, and it should be in shape 1. Yeah, that one. And let's just see if that's the one. Yeah, seems like it. And okay, just press controller again, bring in slider control, set it to 50 so it doesn't disappear when I pick with this. Yeah, and I'm gonna call it stroke width. Right click, add to property, add property to Essential Graphics, and I think there's the outer radius. Yep. Here we go. And again, controller, bring in a slider. We call it triangles size because we're using the outer radius to control the triangle size. Unless you want different shapes, that is, now you can increase and decrease the size of that triangle. Cool, that's looking good. What else do you want? Do we want, oh, forgot to add that to Essential Graphics. Yep, that's all there. What else do we want? We want the path to have a different shape. So maybe narrow on this end or narrow on the arrow end. So that it should be under here. Okay. Here, contents should be under trim paths, and that should be under strokes. Yep. Taper, yeah. Okay, so start strength. I know that one is to control. Okay, I'm gonna just bring in a couple of sliders for now. Okay, I'm gonna call it what was it called? Start lens. Start lens 0. I'm gonna pick with that. Now I could control the width on this end. Let's bring it back to 0. And I think the other one is end width, yeah. No, this is start width. I think it should be this one, to be honest. Why doesn't it? It just doesn't do anything. Turn. Yeah, if you want, you can add waves to it as well. Interesting. So you could have a wavy line. You could add the slider there if you want, and all the other options you have, but I'm just trying to figure out how to do this. Basically just trying to yep. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. So if I keep this at 100 and I'm going to just duplicate that one, duplicate, I'm going to call it what? Please start with should be 0, and that should be 100. Because to grab that, if I decrease this, you see this is, it's got narrow on that side. Yeah. So we're gonna keep the start with as 0 and the end with as 100. And then we could bring both of them into the essential graphics. And I will control them from there. Yep. Seems good. As I said, you could have other properties in there as well. Say for example, if you want to have some wavy lines, here you could. Or you could have dashes as well. If you bring it down to 0, I believe you get a solid line. Yeah. If you bring it up, yeah, you get dashes. So yeah, you can have butt cap or round cap. Round cap is just, this is round. And you have projecting cap as well. So yeah, different options, but in the MOGRT I made, I don't want to bring too many properties in there, because the more you stack them up, the slower it will become. So just be mindful of that. So yeah, that's it. That's all you have to do to make this MOGRT. It's going a bit slow. I'm gonna start this from 1 second onwards, and it will just run for 1 second. Right, and you could, with this MOGRT, you could turn on the controller and have it control it different directions. There you could even have U-turn like this. And once you have designed this, you could turn off the controller and you've got an arrow going that way, right? Quite cool. I'm going to just undo everything. So it's back to the default state and have the controllers on. So that's basically everything. Check, yep, it's working. Last thing to do is to export the MOGRT. Before we do that, forgot one thing. You could actually set poster time. So if you turn off those markers and click this set poster time, the thumbnail will become this frame. So, or if you want to turn it on and set it, it will have the markers on. Save your project always. And oh, I probably clicked that, and by default it saves in your Premiere Pro MOGRT folder, but you don't have to. You could save onto local drive and pick a directory you want to save it. And I usually give a keyframe. For example, I'll just say Arrow MOGRT, well, it's a MOGRT, or any other keyframe you want to, and press tab to save those, and then just press OK, and then it's all saved up and ready for you in Premiere Pro. So that's it about this walkthrough. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. I believe with this you could make MOGRT of your own, and I've got the expressions in the description as well, so if you get lost, you can always refer to that. But yeah, that's it for today, and until next time, stay creative and happy editing.